Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So let's say that you want to do this, to fully conquer the map as I've done here with Malakai, or as I've done with Gorbad here as well. A nice tainted red of the whole map. Or let's say that you're a Lizardmen fan and you would like to do that, such as I've done with Oxyotl as well. So, how to accomplish this? Are there any factions that are better at this than others? Yes, that's the purpose of this video. Just to give you a heads up, of course some of the factions are the same race, which is just because the race is actually really good at doing this. We'll be excluding some factions that don't conquer naturally or that have very poor mechanics for the late game. I wouldn't want you to do that, such as the Beastmen, the Demons of Chaos, and the Warriors of Chaos. A special note to the Warriors of Chaos, they actually have Belacor, which is a good one, and it's a good one because of his teleporting mechanic. Because, as you will about to see, ideally you have a combination of factors that will allow you the full map completion, such as for instance having perfect climate, having nice replenishment or attrition bonuses so that it can keep conquering, teleporting or underway, ideally both, a decent economy or control options, and of course an easy normal campaign throughout. You don't want it to be way too difficult, and you don't want it to be too difficult in the beginning or too easy in the late game. Just overall the same amount of difficulty throughout the game is just enough. Like any faction tier list or any top 8 or top 5 or top 10, this is entirely subjective as well. I've just presented with you the combination of factors that I focus on when selecting this, but by all means you can use one faction that I would consider very difficult just because you like it. If you like it, it's fun, go for it. Without further ado, here are my top 8 factions. We begin with a double. Astrogoth Ironhand and Draswath the Ashen. The reason because they have perfect climate so you can conquer anywhere very easily, and both of them have good initial effects. Zlatan is excluded because he doesn't provide anything to the likes of control or economy. So sure, you can have another convoy, but that can always backfire. While instead, Draswath is perfect for the late and early game, and Astrogoth actually has some research rate, control to all provinces, which is important, and some casualty replenishment rate, which always helps. Therefore, these are my top 2 picks within the Chaos Dwarfs. So top 2 factions, Astrogoth and Draswath. Astrogoth has perfect climate like all Chaos Dwarfs, but he has good replenishment for his army, facilitating the early game, good control, underway, and it's really a normal campaign start. Sure, you have your issues against Arbol or Grimgor, but once you know how to control those, then you'll be on your way to a very easy campaign throughout. Let alone adding the strengths of the Chaos Dwarfs themselves, Astrogoth enhances those in a way that helps facilitate that late game, with the extra control, with the extra good economy that you'll have, the replenishment, and of course Astrogoth himself being a great fighter and caster, definitely one to try out for full map completion. Draswath, of course, is also a Chaos Dwarf and he has perfect climate, but he has a better start and a better late game due to the armaments situation. His bonuses for armaments means that you'll always be able to get more armies of Chaos Dwarfs more easily than with Astrogoth. So, because he doesn't have replenishment or that bonus to control, it may be a little bit more difficult to control your provinces, but don't worry too much. That shouldn't be a deterrent. In fact, the ability to have a domination over the islands of Nurgle should give you a very solid base to facilitate your early game expansion. And then, once you have that solid base, it's just a normal campaign, and you can benefit from all the tunneling and all the other mechanics that help solidify Chaos Dwarfs as a good faction for map completion. Khorne is next, and of course no top 8 or top 10 or top 5 would be complete without having all 3 of Khorne's lords. Despite the fact that they don't have exactly the best climate, they do have good replenishment, mechanics of teleporting and movement, decent economy and control, even though if it is a wartime economy, you can learn to do it and suddenly You can maximize the benefits of this faction really easily. It's a very nice campaign to try and out to control as much land as possible very early on, and with Skarbrand that's just facilitated. There are even videos about how you can control and finish off the campaign in 8 turns without any exploits. Go watch them. So overall, Skarbrand has that decent climate, that good replenishment, and those mechanics of teleporting. Well, he doesn't have one. He has the cult mechanic, which I'll show later on in the part of the video. And this is without speaking about the battle abilities of Skarbrand himself. Skulltaker. Skulltaker has the Cloak of Skulls, and within it one of the best abilities, which is actually to teleport to an enemy lord. That's right, enables the ability to travel to enemy lords, and that alone is impressive. It means that you can be at war with a faction really far away, teleport to it, and start conquering there. Any such mechanic facilitates map completion, so even though you do not have perfect climate, don't worry, you won't even notice it by the fact that you'll just be expanding, getting more blood hosts, and making sure that everything runs blood and red with blood. That's what I wanted to say. Why did I say run blood? Blood doesn't run. Now, Arbol. Arbol also has decent climate, good replenishment, and great mechanics of teleporting and movement with the challenges of Khorne. Although these are slightly different than the mechanics from Skulltaker, for instance, which is better because you can control it. These ones are usually well spread out so that you can dominate different areas of the map, which ensures that Arbol can just control a different region and start building up from there. It's actually a nice campaign to do a variation that I like, which is the migration campaigns. That's the word that I was missing. Yes, effectively, Arbol can even migrate to a different place, and you can avoid everything on the initial province if you wish, and you can just start over in a new place and get, some replay value out of it as well. Of course, this is innately great, and the fact that he can get global recruitment reduced means you can recruit anywhere, continue building up, continue fighting, and that's all that you need. As if it wasn't enough, you can instantly transport your faction leader to a settlement with a cult just by performing this cult ritual. And that goes for every single Khorne faction and lord. Skarbrand included, Skulltaker included, Arbol included, even though they already have some form of teleport or movement buffs. It's just insane. Just pick a Khorne faction if you want to go for map completion, and you will never be wrong. Oxyotl, the little chameleon, almost has it all. Perfect climate, good replenishment and control, great mechanics. He does lack the underway, but he has a better ambush. So overall, it kind of compensates for that. And he has a normal campaign. Initial early challenge, yeah, for sure, like any other campaign. But once you've done it, it's perfectly fine. Once you've defeated Kairos, you're done. And then you have the Visions of the Old Ones, a teleporting mechanic where you can just go in to another different place, and although you have some objectives there, you can transport, conquer some places, and start recruiting troops there. Start recruiting a lord here, and suddenly you're fine. Suddenly you're fine to do the same thing as you do with Khorne, but with Lizardmen. The same thing of dominating a different area of the map, which I've done in my previous campaign. It was great, actually, with Oxyotl just moving back and forth. And he is excellent at supporting that as well. Because, yes, the visions are different every time. You won't be noticing it by the fact that you can just conquer anywhere else as well. Overall, a very nice campaign with a perfect climate that helps tremendously compared to Khorne. I would say that it's one of my top 3 campaigns to try and conquer the full map. Kairos. Kairos is a different breed. The reason why I chose him is because he does have good climate and he has some nice bonuses to construction and to character experience gain. So overall your lords will be slightly better than the enemy, or at least will catch up. He only has Unpleasant Mountains, which is a little bit of a problem because there's a lot of mountains in the game. But still, Kairos is better than other monogods, which I felt since the cult mechanics have been changed, I think he's better than Slaanesh and better than Nurgle at trying it out. And I wanted to give you some level of lords of different races. he has the teleport mechanic, which means that he can start an attack an enemy with the teleport, which is perfect, let alone just move throughout different terrains. And then you have the cult mechanic, which is the same as Khorne. You can teleport your faction leader to a different area of the map. Just pick that cultist, go somewhere else, and start raising whatever you want. Start conquering wherever you want. As long as you teleport your faction leader, you can continue in your early game. Let's say that you defeated Teclis, just go and face off against Tyrion, for instance, and you go and conquer Ulthuan, or wherever you really wish. It's a perfect campaign for trying out conquering different locations and seeing which one suits best your playstyle. And that's something that I want to incentive as well. Instead of just going the normal way on conquering everything that is near your path, just select a new path. And it also fits so well with Tzeentch's mechanics that I would definitely advise you to try it out, fight differently, go into a different place, and see what enemies fall best against your forces as Kairos. Plus, he's a big bird. What's not to like? Now, Orion. Orion is very simply because of the upkeep cost. Of course, if you're with teleporting to many different places and if you're at war with many enemies, it will reach a point where you don't have upkeep. So free armies, everyone likes those, right? Now, in terms of gameplay, the idea is that you have the teleporting mechanic via the deep roots. And that's precisely what you want. You don't have like global recruitment, you don't have too many replenishment boons, but you will get them with the deep roots and the advantages of all those trees. And precisely Orion, I picked him because contrary to the other Wood Elf lords, he has that upkeep situation going for him. Without that, I do not really think that it would be a great campaign for full map domination, mainly because you don't really have, like the Warriors of Chaos, you don't really have great ways of taking advantage of the conquered settlements. That's because most of your settlements will be tier 1 and will have even no income. The main settlements are always the trees. They will be enough for you, trust me, they will be enough, but still, you won't have that feeling of keeping development of all the provinces, all the settlements. Now, the good thing is that you don't need, such as the Beastmen, to raise everything, or such as the Warriors of Chaos to vassal anyone. You can actually conquer everywhere. And that's the good part of a Wood Elf campaign, especially under Orion. Everything else he fits. He has perfect climate as well. So overall, a great campaign to do map completion with. And that is all. We have Astrogoth, Drazwath, Skarbrand, Skulltaker, Arbal, Oxyotl for the Lizardmen, Kairos, Fateweaver, and Orion as the top 8 factions that you can try to get a full map completion. Now go forth and conquer the whole map. Thank you.